Hello everyone, this is Kelly at the Inky Gnome for Miss Ink Stamps, and I'm going to start sharing my fall projects today. I used this really cute Scarecrow Jack stamp set, where the main image is this great scarecrow with a pumpkin face. I just stamped him on some nice heavyweight white cardstock, and I'm using my Karen markers to just color him in. This is the Sun and Trees, I believe, set is the name of the markers. And again, it's a Scarecrow Jack stamp set from Miss Ink Stamps. This is it has some great fall sentiment, so not just for Halloween, but also all fall long. But I just wanted to use him for a good main image on my card front. I love Halloween and fall. It's my favorite time of the year. So once September hits, it's time for fall and Halloween stuff. I'm decorating right now for it. So I was really excited to pull this stamp set out and get some fall cards started. So I'm just coloring in I do kind of the same as I do using Copic or other like alcohol markers, things like that is my favorite way to use these. You can also use these kind of like watercolor markers, which is kind of what they are meant to be. But I like to just go over in a light shade, and then I make some kind of shadows on the edges with a darker shade and pull it back in with a lighter shade again. And that's how I do a lot of shaded coloring with different mediums. So that's my favorite thing to do with these. I haven't had time to play it with too many different ways of using them, but they're a lot of fun to play with. I love how saturated the colors look. They look really pretty. So I'm just doing some fall colors. He's got kind of like a tree trunk stick kind of through his body, and that jacket and hat and pumpkin face again. I'm just using another piece of white heavy stocks for my card base. And I'm going to do some stenciling, kind of create a scene for him to go on here. I'm first just using a couple shades of green to get kind of that grassy field kind of look at the bottom there first. And I'm making a bit of a mess, as you can see, which I often do when inking, but it's not going to matter because I'm going to be layering a lot of things up, so it'll cover right over that, so I won't even notice. So I wanted to do kind of a Halloween / fall kind of color themed background, looking kind of like a sunset in the background. So I'm using a couple different stencils and stencil sets that have cloud images. This is the Rainbow Sky, one of the stencils from that, and it's a stencil set that has, like you can see, it's got those cute little star groupings and heart groupings, and then the different clouds and different lines of the rainbows. So you can do a whole scene with just that stencil set. It's a really great set. And then this is the scene builder set, so I'm using the clouds from that too to just get some different angles of clouds from using the two different sets. So I'm just layering kind of the bright orange on the bottom there and a couple of different shades of blue, and then I'm going to layer some purple for a darker shade over the top. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's all kind of blending together, so I'm just filling in any empty gaps. And I just wanted it to kind of see how you can still see kind of the movement in that background of the sunset from using those clouds rather than you could also do just shading, from one shade to the next to do a sunset kind of background. But I just wanted that extra texture from that cloud stenciling edge. And I'm just taking a black ink over the top to just darken up the very top and kind of darken around the edges of it after that background's all filled in. And this is another great stencil, 2 uses, because you can do like I'm doing and stenciling in the insides of the trees to actually make like the whole trees, but you could also stencil the other direction. If you look kind of at the top of the stencil that I'm not using, to instead color the background behind the trees and leave the actual tree portion open. I'm just doing a few lines of the trees in black to just kind of look like the shadow of the trees as it's getting dark and the ground is getting dark. And I love how it turned out, where it almost looks like the sunset is also like a fog going through the forest there. Now I'm using the Starry Night stencil over the top, and I'm just going to, after attaching it up there, I'm going to put a line of tape across it as well, that I don't want to get any stars under that line. So that's just kind of my, excuse me, my cutoff point of where I want the stars to show up. And you could use a lot of different things for this. I'm just using kind of a clear iridescent glitter gel and spreading it on there, but it'd be great in a metallic gel or glitter. You could just use glue and then use glitter over the top of it. But I like how this just kind of makes some shine without it being too much of an actual color over the top, because it already has so many colors going on. But I love how it turned out in the light. It looks really adorable. But that's the Starry Night, and that's a great stencil to use for so many different things. So I cut out, after coloring, I cut out the Scarecrow Jack image and just popped him up on some foam tape. I also took the sentiment from the same set to do a sentiment along the bottom of the panel there. And I'm just going to pop him up with the foam tape over the edge. And then I should have trimmed it down before, but I was waiting for the stars to dry first. So after I finished with him, I trimmed down the edges a teeny bit and put it on a black card base. And I just love the way this turned out, and I love the extra little sparkle of the stars there. And I can't wait to get everything decorated for fall and Halloween and my favorite time of year. And I hope you really enjoyed this. Have a great day and have a great fall.